Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going deep into the world of DeFi,
Oh, yeah.
specifically a platform called RedStone. It's a modular oracles platform,
Right.
and some of you may be thinking, what does that even mean?
Well, let's break it down. A modular Oracle platform, like RedStone, is designed to fetch and verify data from the real world.
Okay,
For decentralized applications, or apps as they're known, it does this in a flexible and efficient way.
gotcha.
Kind of like building with Legos, you know?
Okay, so RedStone is making some big moves. They're launching a testnet of their data validation service on EigenLayer.
That's right.
And this is a restaking network.
Yeah.
So why is that such a big deal for DeFi's future? What is restaking and why is this also important?
Well, first let's talk about oracles. DeFi applications need a way to access real-world information, right? So things like asset prices,
Okay,
interest rates, maybe even weather data in some cases. Oracles act as bridges, bringing that data onto the blockchain.
so without oracles, these DeFi applications would be flying blind. Exactly. They wouldn't be able to function.
They couldn't even work.
They wouldn't know anything. And what RedStone is doing with their actively validated service,
Yeah.
or AVS, is making this process even more efficient and secure.
I read that one of the key benefits is that it reduces gas consumption.
Right.
Can you explain what that means in the context of DeFi for people who might not know?
So gas in the blockchain world refers to the fee that you pay for every transaction.
Okay.
The higher the gas fee, the more expensive it is to use DeFi applications.
Sure.
So RedStone's AVS is designed to minimize those gas fees, making DeFi more accessible
Okay.
and affordable
Makes sense.
for everyone.
So it's like cutting down on the cost of fuel,
Exactly.
which could be a game changer to making DeFi more mainstream, I guess.
Yeah. It takes away that barrier to entry, And that brings us to EigenLayer.
Right. So this restaking thing, can you explain the advantage of RedStone launching its testnet on EigenLayer? How does that work?
Okay, so restaking allows users to basically leverage their existing stake assets to secure multiple networks
Oh, wow.
instead of just one.
Hmm.
EigenLayer acts as a platform for this, creating this shared security pool.
Gotcha.
So by tapping into EigenLayer, RedStone is able to significantly enhance the security and reliability of its data validation service.
So pooling resources for a better defense system.
Exactly. And this shared security model is becoming more and more important in DeFi as the ecosystem grows
Sure.
and becomes more complex.
So this testnet launch is a pretty big step, right? What are the next steps?
Yeah, so a testnet is like a dress rehearsal before a big show, right? So it allows RedStone to test their AVS
Okay.
in a real-world environment, identify any bugs or issues, and ensure that everything runs smoothly before launching on the main Ethereum network. It's all about minimizing risk and ensuring a seamless user experience.
So this is crucial towards wider adoption then. And I understand RedStone also has some future plans like launching their own token.
That's right, yeah. So the RedStone token will play a key role in governing the platform,
Okay.
incentivizing those participants, and further decentralizing the ecosystem.
Gotcha.
It's all part of their vision to build a truly community-driven Oracle network.
And I read about this EigenLayer slashing mechanism. Sounds kind of intense. What is that and how does that work?
Yeah, so the slashing mechanism acts as a deterrent against bad behavior by validators.
Okay.
If a validator tries to, say, cheat or compromise the network,
Oh,
they risk losing a portion of their staked assets.
interesting.
So this creates a really strong incentive for validators to act honestly and uphold the integrity of the system.
So it's checks and balances, keeping everyone in line.
Right, you could say that.
Okay. So let's zoom out a bit. How does all of this innovation that RedStone is working on contribute to the future of DeFi?
Well, I think RedStone's approach to Oracle technology is paving the way for a more secure, efficient, and reliable DeFi ecosystem.
Right.
By reducing those gas fees, enhancing data accuracy, and partnering up with EigenLayer. For enhanced security, they're removing some of the biggest barriers to mainstream DeFi adoption.
So it's a more user-friendly on-ramp to DeFi then.
Yeah, exactly. What's the current state of the DeFi landscape anyway? I know you follow this closely.
Yeah, so DeFi is a really rapidly growing space and it's got huge potential.
Okay.
Right now, there's about $165 billion logged in various DeFi protocols.
Wow.
And that number is expected to just keep rising.
Yeah.
Innovations like what RedStone is doing will be crucial to pushing DeFi beyond its previous highs and attracting a wider audience.
For sure.
It's amazing to think about all the innovation happening in this space.
That's wild, isn't it? Alan Curtis, COO of EigenLabs, said that Oracles are a critical part of the DeFi and blockchain ecosystem, ensuring connectivity of data in a reliable manner. RedStone is really at the forefront of this.
It really seems like it.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about the other partnerships they formed as well. They've integrated with some pretty impressive projects, haven't they?
Oh, they certainly have. We were talking about projects like Ether.fi, Puffer, Pendle, and Renzo.
Wow, those are some big names.
These partnerships show the trust and confidence these projects have in RedStone's technology. It demonstrates the growing influence RedStone has in the DeFi ecosystem.
It really does. And they were also the first to bring Oracle integration to the TON blockchain, which is quite a feat. They're pushing boundaries here.
Absolutely. What they're doing is not just about building a technology platform. It's about creating a more open, transparent, and accessible financial system for everyone.
It's exciting to see how RedStone is shaping the future of DeFi. But before we get too carried away with the big picture, let's dive a little deeper into some of the technical details behind RedStone's AVS and how it works in practice.
Sounds good to me.
Let's do that.
Let's unpack that
We'll be right back.
after the break.
Stay with us.
So you wanted to know how RedStone's actively validated service actually works.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty fascinating how they combine this with EigenLayer's restaking capabilities.
If you could break it down a bit, I think I get the basics of oracles now.
Of course.
But how it all works technically is still a bit fuzzy.
Okay. Imagine a DeFi application that needs to know the current price of Ether.
Right.
So it would send a request to RedStone's AVS.
Okay.
Here's where EigenLayer comes into play.
All right.
Instead of relying on a single source for that information, the AVS uses EigenLayer's whole network of validators. And these validators are individuals or groups who've staked their crypto as a kind of guarantee.
So it's like crowdsourcing
Exactly.
the data verification process, but with real financial stakes.
Right, because these validators have something to lose.
Yeah,
If they're dishonest, there's a very strong incentive for them to provide accurate data.
that makes sense.
So the AVS gathers the price data from these validators, and then
What happens?
they use a consensus mechanism to determine the most reliable data from all the validators.
Okay.
It then delivers that data back to the DeFi application. All of this happens off-chain, which means it doesn't congest the main Ethereum blockchain or add to the cost.
So it's like a dedicated team of fact checkers
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
working behind the scenes to make sure the data is accurate.
Right. And this is super crucial in DeFi.
Oh, yeah.
Because even small data discrepancies can have huge consequences.
It sounds like RedStone and EigenLayer are the perfect match.
Yeah, I think so.
Both pushing the boundaries of DeFi in their own way.
They're both addressing critical needs in the ecosystem. RedStone focuses on accurate and reliable data,
Yeah.
and EigenLayer provides that security infrastructure to support it.
Now, I understand RedStone is also built using something called Authentic.
Yeah, good point.
What is that and why is it important?
Authentic is a platform that allows developers to build their own AVCs,
Okay.
and they can use whatever coding language they prefer.
Oh, wow.
So this creates a much more inclusive environment for developers.
Yeah, more accessible for sure.
Exactly. It removes the barrier of learning a new language.
Yeah.
So RedStone is opening up the development process to way more talent,
Makes sense.
which can only lead to more innovation.
It's like a universal translator for DeFi.
I like that.
So developers from everywhere can contribute.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And this focus on accessibility and collaboration really sets RedStone apart.
So we've talked about how RedStone's AVS works and EigenLayer's role.
Right.
But how does all this impact the everyday person using DeFi?
Well, for one, it means more reliable DeFi applications
Okay.
with accurate and secure data.
Yeah.
You can have way more confidence in the protocols you're using.
That's a big deal for sure,
Exactly. No one wants to worry about whether the information they're using is right,
especially when it comes to finances.
for sure. RedStone also contributes to lower fees
Oh, how so?
because the data validation happens off-chain.
Right.
It reduces the burden on the Ethereum network.
Okay.
And this leads to lower gas fees for users.
So it's like streamlining the traffic flow,
Exactly.
makes the system more efficient for everyone.
And as DeFi becomes more accessible, we can expect more innovative applications to pop up.
Wow.
This could revolutionize lending, borrowing, insurance, you name it.
It really seems like we're about to see a huge shift in finance.
It does, doesn't it?
But as with any new technology, there are always risks.
Right?
What should users be aware of when using RedStone?
That's a good question. RedStone's built a secure system, but there could be vulnerabilities.
Yeah, for sure.
Users need to be aware that DeFi is still experimental in a lot of ways.
So do your research.
Exactly.
Understand the risks. Maybe start small
Right.
until you're comfortable.
It's also really important to choose reputable validators.
Good point. How do you do that?
Look at their track record,
Okay.
the amount of crypto they've staked, their reputation.
Gotcha.
There are even validator rating services out there.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah, there's a lot to consider in DeFi, but it is exciting to be a part of it.
It is. And RedStone seems to be playing a leading role.
Yeah, they really are.
Their commitment to transparency and open source development sets a high bar.
I agree. We can't forget about the RedStone token either.
Oh, right. That's coming soon.
How do you think that will change things?
I think it'll decentralize the platform even more
Okay.
and give the community more power.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how the tokenomics work out.
It will. I think you're right. The RedStone token is a big step towards a community-owned Oracle network.
It is.
But what about the bigger picture? What do you think RedStone means for the future of DeFi?
That's a great question and a great way to wrap things up.
Let's do it.
Let's take a quick break and come back with some final thoughts on RedStone and the exciting future of DeFi. All right, we're back. We've been deep diving into RedStone and EigenLayer,
Yeah.
and it's really cool to see how these platforms are changing how we think about finance.
But it's like building a new financial system from the ground up.
Exactly. So we've talked about how RedStone's Oracle tech and EigenLayer's security can make DeFi better, more accessible and efficient, all that. But what does this mean for the future of DeFi as a whole?
Well, I think we're seeing a real shift happening.
Okay.
DeFi is moving beyond just the early stages.
Yeah.
It's becoming a much more complex ecosystem. And RedStone is leading the way, pushing the boundaries of what's possible with these new technologies.
It's really fascinating to think about the possibilities.
It is.
We've talked about lower fees, faster transactions, all sorts of applications.
Right.
What about the impact on traditional finance? Could DeFi disrupt the whole system?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
I mean, DeFi has a lot of advantages over traditional finance.
Like what?
Transparency, accessibility,
Okay.
people having more control over their assets.
Yeah.
As the tech gets better and more people use it,
Right.
it could definitely challenge the way things are done now.
It's like we're watching a whole new financial order emerge,
It really is.
built on decentralization and community ownership.
Exactly.
But of course, there will be challenges.
Of course, always is with something new.
What kind of challenges?
Well, security is a big one.
Okay.
Regulatory uncertainty.
Right.
And figuring out how to scale everything up as more people use it.
Yeah, those are big ones.
Oh, and we can't forget about education.
Right. Got to learn about it first.
DeFi can be pretty intimidating for new people.
For sure. It's complicated.
There's a lot to learn.
Yeah,
But luckily, there's a great community out there to help people learn.
that's good.
And platforms like RedStone are making things easier to understand.
So they're bridging the gap between the tech and the users.
Exactly. That's really important for getting more people involved.
So to wrap things up, let's go back to our original question.
Right.
What does RedStone, especially with EigenLayer, tell us about the future of data in DeFi? The security, the reliability, all that.
I think it shows a real dedication to building a more trustworthy DeFi ecosystem. Using restaking and off-chain validation.
Yeah.
RedStone is setting a new standard for data security.
It's like they're creating a fortress.
And EigenLayer provides the foundation for that security.
Right.
And with things like the RedStone token and the slashing mechanism,
Yeah.
there's a real incentive for everyone to play by the rules.
It's a pretty powerful combination.
It is. It really is.
I'm excited to see what RedStone does next.
Me too. The future of DeFi is bright.
It really is. Well, it's been great diving deep into RedStone and EigenLayer with you all.
It has.
We've learned about oracles and restaking
Yeah.
and how this tech could change finance forever.
It's pretty amazing.
If you want to learn more, check out RedStone's website.
And as always, let us know if you have any questions.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We're excited about the future of DeFi, and we hope you are too.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.
Keep pushing those boundaries.
And thanks for diving deep with us.